Monday, February 25th, 1991. In the unforgiving desert of western Iraq, an elite team of Delta Force and British SAS operators prowl the terrain, hunting down Saddam Hussein's ever-growing arsenal of mobile Scud missiles, a weapon system capable of raining destruction across enemy lines. These Black Ops Scud hunting missions, and the speed and level of violence used, propelled Delta Force into another echelon of legendary, as the operators stalked their targets day and night, becoming America's most feared weapon in Desert Storm. In 1990, Saddam Hussein's Iraq had just come out of an exhausting and costly 8-year war with Iran, which drained its economy and left the country heavily in debt, much of it owed to neighboring Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. And instead of repaying the debt, Saddam took a gamble, calculating a full-blown seizure of Kuwait to both erase Iraq's debts and gain control over Kuwait's lucrative oil reserves. And Iraq's sudden invasion of Kuwait sent shockwaves through the international community, as it posed a direct threat to regional stability and critical oil resources. In response, the United States swiftly rallied an international coalition to confront Saddam, fearing that his next move would be to extend Iraq's reach into Saudi Arabia. And as the coalition gathered strength, Saddam sought ways to weaken, recognizing the coalition's fragility, especially its alliance of Western and Arab nations. Saddam aimed to disrupt it by drawing Israel into the conflict, knowing that an Israeli military response could fracture Arab support within the coalition. And to execute this strategy, Saddam turned to Iraq's Soviet-made Scud missiles, a short to medium-range ballistic missile known for its mobility on the battlefield. And Saddam's arsenal consisted of Scud-B and modified Scud variants, which were Soviet-made tactical ballistic missiles, capable of delivering high-explosive, chemical, or even theoretically, nuclear warheads over distances of up to 600 miles. And by January of 1991, after Operation Desert Storm's air command commenced, Iraq launched a series of Scud missile attacks against Israel, firing a total of 39 Scuds, causing mass casualties and widespread fear. And although the Scud attacks created intense pressure for Israel to retaliate, the US urged restraint to preserve the coalition's unity, and Israeli leaders faced a difficult decision, but ultimately agreed after receiving a Patriot missile defense system from the United States designed to intercept incoming Scuds. And with Israel choosing restraint, coalition operations continued without political disruption, and Saddam's willingness to attack Israel required a bold response. And given the fact that these Scuds were launched from mobile transports, allowing them to be moved, hidden, and fired from various locations with relative ease, made hunting them down all the more challenging and all the more dangerous, as they could quickly set up, fire, and relocate before coalition forces could even identify their exact location. And on February 25th of 1991, as Saddam's Scud struck a U.S. military barrack in Saudi Arabia, killing 28 soldiers, the United States decided to play dirty by sending money in a plane to Delta Force. The United States needed to act fast to locate and neutralize these mobile Scud launchers hidden and scattered across the vast deserts of western Iraq, and consequently they elected Delta Force alongside the British SAS. This team of elite operators were tasked to conduct a series of covert operations, better known as Scud hunting, deep behind enemy lines. And due to Iraq's harsh desert landscapes, unpredictable sandstorms, and the constant threat of enemy patrols, Delta and the SAS teams needed to operate on foot, deploying in small specialized teams, often with as few as 4 to 6 men. But before we go Scud hunting, a quick word from the sponsor of today's video, Home Title Lock. If you're a homeowner, when's the last time you checked the title of your home? If the answer is never, that could make you a prime target for one of the fastest growing crimes in America, and what the FBI dubs house stealing. There are criminal organizations out there that specialize in stealing your house while you're still living in it, and here's how they do it. They transfer your home title into their name, take out loans using your house as collateral, and then vanish, leaving you with a financial and legal nightmare. And it's shockingly easy for them to pull this off, as all they need is a quitclaim deed. And I'll even show you how to do it. See this?
You can download one for free or just for a few bucks. Not that you should. Then they simply add your name, address, and fake your signature, and stamp the document with a fake notary seal. Look at this. You can order a fake notary seal right off Amazon. No questions asked. Not that you should. You may think the government would catch this, but nope. As long as they file the paperwork correctly, the county clerk won't think twice about approving it. That's why I'm using Home Title Lock. Simply enter your address, and you'll receive a complete title scan to see if you're already a victim. So check the link in the description and use my promo code POPOMEDIC to get a 30-day free trial and protect the title of your home today.
The Scud hunting missions began with an initial phase of covert reconnaissance. The teams would establish observation points on elevated ground, often hiding within rocky formations or depressions in the desert. And using powerful optics and night vision equipment to scan the landscape for hours, Delta Force and the SAS would track for the telltale signs of Iraqi Scud launchers. Once they identified a likely target, Delta and SAS operators would move in quietly, often advancing under the cover of night, and when within range, they would mark the target with laser designators, allowing coalition aircraft to launch precision airstrikes. And while this method was the effective way, Delta preferred the fun way, engaging on foot. Delta would often stage for ambushes, quickly taking out the guards with suppressed weapons, planting charges on the launchers, and withdrawing undetected just minutes before a secondary Iraqi patrol would arrive. And the SAS were just as ballsy, as one famous Scud hunting mission involved a British SAS team that spotted an Iraqi convoy believed to be transporting a mobile Scud launcher, outnumbered in deep in enemy territory. The SAS team decided to engage, setting up an ambush along the convoy's projected route. With carefully concealed positions, they waited until the convoy was in range and used explosives to disable the lead and rear vehicles, trapping the rest of the convoy in the middle. A massive firefight ensued, with the SAS outmaneuvering the Iraqi soldiers. They quickly disabled the launcher and withdrew, melting back into the desert with minimal casualties. These Scud hunts proved to be an effective weapon in depleting Saddam's arsenal, and even beyond targeting Scuds, these operators were able to map out critical intelligence from Iraqi supply routes and radar stations, which they later hit with coalition airstrikes. And although their primary mission was Scud hunting, there was an underlying understanding within Delta Force that if the opportunity arose, they would be prepared to eliminate Saddam Hussein himself. And as they gathered key intelligence on high-value targets through their Scud hunting, the idea of assassinating Saddam became a very real possibility. Although no direct attempts were ever made, the operators were briefed on potential actions they could take if they stumbled upon Saddam or his close entourage during their Scud hunting missions. But as these missions continued and the coalition's air and ground campaigns progressed, the need for specialized Scud hunting on the ground began to decrease, freeing up Delta Force operators for other high-value assignments. And as the ground campaign gained momentum, General Schwarzkopf, leading the coalition forces, began moving closer to the action. And Schwarzkopf was not just a commander, but the face of the coalition's efforts. Ensuring General Schwarzkopf's safety became paramount, and thus the legendary security detail of Delta Force DAD Corps was born. Armed with minimal CAR-15s, through a 4-day ground campaign, operators of C Squadron, 1st Special Forces Detachment Delta, escorted Schwarzkopf as he traveled to various forward command locations across Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, as he led the real-time coordination of the coalition's left hook maneuver, a large-scale flanking attack designed to track Iraqi forces in Kuwait and cut off their escape routes. And this left hook became a major victory and pivotal moment for the coalition. The Scud hunting missions ultimately helped neutralize Saddam's ever-growing missile threat. By keeping Saddam's mobile launchers on the run, Delta and the SAS forced Iraq's missile teams into constant movement, disrupting their operations and limiting their capability. Their actions throughout these missions not only saved lives, but preserved the coalition's cohesion by preventing further strikes on Israel. These Scud hunters became legend among the special operations circles and propelled the importance of special operations as a whole in modern warfare, and sharpened a generation of operators for the world that lied ahead. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button. There's a lot more mini docs in the works, and you don't want to miss them. And be sure to head over to Black Rifle Coffee's YouTube channel and check out my second Medal of Honor episode on John Basilone. Be sure to check me out over on Instagram and X as well. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.